Well, there it is, Oxford United fans. There it is. That's what it feels like to win a game of football. Who had forgotten what that winning feeling feels like? I know that I have, and I know a lot of you out there have as well. It's been a torturous time being an Oxford United fan, and because it's been so bad, this game and this win just felt ever so much importance on it. It felt like one of the most important wins we've had in a long, long time, maybe since we beat Wycombe to come back up into League One. Cheltenham Town fans, I do apologise if I am a little bit more giddy than I would normally be for a win, but I think you can excuse it. You guys have been great this season. I think we've probably played you at the right time of the season as well, after you secured your safety in your game against Forest Green, in your derby game. As I say, I think we played you at the right time. You have been better than us this season, and I just hope that we will be in the same league with you next season to play you again in League One. And it is still hope, Oxford United fans, because we have still got work to do, but that work seems a lot easier after today, because Oxford United win a game. Oxford United win a game heavily. It finished Oxford United 4, Cheltenham Town 0. We were all hoping and praying for something. We got everything we could have dreamed of and more in today's game, but let's just go over the team news from it. Gatlin O'Donkor was obviously injured for Oxford United, so we were all wondering who he was going to play up front. Well, he went with Kyle Joseph. Liam Manning could have gone with Tyler Smith. He's gone with Kyle Joseph. Billy Bowden started in that 10 role. You had Marcus Browne back in the side, pushed out onto the left wing. Tyler Goodrham on the right. Ossian Smith dropped out of the side as well, but you did see a return to the bench for Tyler Smith, so he wasn't at least sat in the stands on his own. Cheltenham made one change from their win in El Glossico, and that was at left wing back, with Ben Williams coming in for Will Ferry. And as I said earlier on, the Robbins have been very good this season, and they will be in League One after a big win they had at the weekend, really. Alfie May is undoubtedly the star of this team, with 20 goals this season, and some of the goals he has scored as well have been absolutely fantastic. Look for the one he scored against Peterborough in particular. But also at the back, they've been very strong as well. The likes of Caleb Taylor, Lewis Freestone have both been excellent, and there is also a return for ex-Oxford United player Liam Sercombe in the midfield. We wanted a fast start from Oxford in this one, and we did get a fast start for the first 10 minutes. There were early efforts. There was a block shot by Billy Bowden, and then Tyler Goodrham whistled a beautiful effort from 25-30 yards out, which went just wide of the post, and then Kyle Joseph charged down a back pass which went just behind, which almost seemed like delicious foreshadowing for what happened later on. But the game settled down, and the game became very scrappy and extremely nervy. After about half an hour, really the game just petered into nothing. Oxford were really struggling to break down a stubborn Cheltenham side who didn't really play with any urgency, but they looked very difficult to break down, very quickly got back into their shapes. And when they did go forward, they were very good at picking up second balls. A couple of times they got into threatening areas without really creating any clear-cut chances. The crowd were getting nervous. I was getting nervous, and Oxford just needed, like what we've needed for so many games now, just some little spark, something from somewhere. And we got it. 37 minutes. The littlest guy in town, Tyler Goodrham. Wow, has he scored some big goals this season. And this is another one. It was a huge, big switch of play by Cameron Brannigan. And it was actually Goodrham who collided with a defender. Could have easily been given as a free kick either way, really, but the referee played on. It went to Sam Long, who put just a speculative effort into the box, but Goodrham had got back off the ground by that point, ran into the area, and he just got something on it, whether it was his knee, whether it was his thigh, whether it was his shin. It didn't matter. It was the right connection, because it just, I can't say it flew, but it arrowed, is that the right word? It went in to the bottom corner. That is what we needed. That was the bit of luck that Oxford United needed. And that was actually the last thing that Tyler Goodrham did in the game, because a few minutes later he was sat down and came off with an injury. And it was Josh Murphy, who did all right when he came on against Barnsley, who came on again. And at half-time, Oxford United led. Yes, the goal did calm everybody down, but you did just straight away give you something to hold on to, which again brings back its own set of nerves. And any time Cheltenham did get a whiff of Oxford United's goal, it did feel nervy. But I don't think the players really felt the nerves defensively. I thought going forward, there were some really wayward passes and some very sloppy touches from pretty much everybody. I thought Marcus Browne was probably the only player out there who I thought had a pretty composed first half and was really good at breaking up the play and with some key blocks and challenges in there to get to turn defence into attack for Oxford United. But all we needed was Oxford to win, and we were winning. Could we kick on in the second half? And the answer was an emphatic yes. It was almost like, in a way, role reversal from the weekend, where Cheltenham played the Oxford role and Oxford played the Barnsley role, because other than a shot straight from the second half from Keena, which was a good volley actually, which not really volley, but good effort from a distance, which sat up, which he caught nicely, but went straight to Simon Eastwood. But then Oxford just took charge of this game and just roared home to victory. 51 minutes, Oxford made it 2-0, and it was brilliant play from Josh Murphy. So, why I compared it to the game at the weekend is because Oxford got those goals just before half-time and won just after half-time, which really kicked the stuffing out of Cheltenham Town. But it was brilliant play by Josh Murphy, who sprinted to close down the defender out on their left, Oxford's right, and he won the ball back high, and the ball broke to Murphy so he could dart into the penalty area. We were all screaming shoot, but Murphy kept a clean head and squared it to Kyle Joseph, who could just take a heavy touch and then take a good touch because he was able to just tap it in to an empty net. Oxford United 2-0 up. This is what the stuff of dreams. But then the stuff of dreams became even better. How can you get better than that? I don't know. I don't know the words for it. But just a few minutes later, Oxford United were flying and made it 3-0. Cheltenham looked tired, looked leggy, and Oxford looked like they had the beating of them all day long. And it was just 9 minutes after we made it 2-0. We did make it 3-0. There was a chance for Billy Bowden in between that to make it 3-0, but he flashed an effort just wide. But then it was Josh Murphy again who put in a superb cross for Marcus Browne to cushion a header neatly into the bottom corner. And then after that, Oxford just went up another gear after that. Now the likes of Joseph, now the likes of Browne, they looked like they had the weight of the world lifted off their shoulders, and the rest of the players looked like the shackles had finally been broken after 17 times games of asking. And these players looked like they were playing with a bit of freedom, and Oxford were just rubbing salt into the wound. And it was 4-0 with arguably the best goal of the game, where Kieran Brown was part brilliant, part pretty awful defending, really. He was just able to wriggle through a bunch of Cheltenham defenders, get into the penalty area and poke it past Southwood. Oxford were in complete control of this game, as you would expect any side to be at 4-0 up, and it was just a side oozing with all the confidence in the world. And it was just a matter of whether we could make it 5. And there were efforts and there were chances, and Brannigan was doing his best to get a 5th goal. Tyler Smith did come on, didn't really get anything for him, but it didn't matter. It just didn't matter. Oxford United just needed a win in this game. They got an emphatic win in this game. Whew, wow, even with Accrington winning, doesn't everything look a lot more comfortable now? And what can you say about Cheltenham Town again? Once again, Cheltenham fans, look, whatever it is, this was our time to win a game. And boy, have we been waiting a long time. This is just one of those ones where it's like, yeah, well, maybe a bit after the Lord Mayor's show at the weekend. But please just indulge us to say that this was 17 games. 17 games that Oxford United hadn't won. And finally, we got that chip off our shoulder, and what a relief it is to finally Oxford do get that win. It just makes everything look so much more comfortable now. It doesn't mean that we can roll up against Forest Green at the weekend and have a divine right to win it. It makes that fixture look a lot more appealing, and it certainly looks like a game that we should win. But we need to approach it with the same effort and the same intensity and the same clinical finishing that we saw in this one, and we should be fine. One more win will probably do it for us, as we've jumped above MK Dons now. One more win will certainly get us nearly there. and it'll take a lot of pressure off that final day of the season. Enjoy it, Oxford fans. It's not a job done, and we know it's not a job done, but please enjoy this victory. It's been a long time coming, and we did it with a lot of style. If you can hit like on this video, that helps me out a lot. If you can subscribe to the channel, that helps me a lot too. I'll be back to do a review of the Forest Green game. Hopefully we'll be partying and celebrating, staying up in League One. Thanks again. I'll see you Saturday.